Hi, I'm Felix, and in this video I'll be critically analyzing the board game Clue through the eyes of Jane McGonigal's Reality is Broken. In this book, Jane McGonigal argues that games can change our world and fix our reality. Games are just silly things that people do to waste time, right? Gamers get a bad rap for being people who aren't really in touch with reality, who try again and again to get to the next level on a countless amount of tries. Don't games ever get boring for these people? McGonigal in her book asks, how can gamers spend 80% of the time failing and still love what they're doing? McGonigal touches upon this when she argues that in a well-designed game, failure doesn't faze us. It is technically much more encouraging according to recent psychology. Optimistically, it can be shown that failure is a fuel for success among gamers. Failure gives gamers energy because setbacks encourage. In Reality is Broken, McGonigal posits that, compared with games, reality is hopeless. Games eliminate our fear of failure and improve our chances for success. Games fix reality by increasing hope for success. Due to a variety of factors, games apply this fix perfectly, but in several cases the scope of the fix is less than perfect. The Hasbro game Clue is a game through which a microcosmic world of seemingly real-life detective work simulates a constant struggle for accuracy. In the case of Clue, the struggle for accuracy is the struggle to guess the correct scenario through which a murder may have happened. The fun of Clue feeds off of the seemingly decreasing chance of inaccuracy upon going further into the game. The board game setup includes 9 square spaces where the murder may be perpetrated in the game with corresponding cards, 6 pawns who represent the suspects with corresponding cards, and 6 metal pieces which are weapons with which the murder can be perpetrated with corresponding cards. The game begins when a player puts 3 cards denoting a suspect, weapon, and room in which the homicide of the game takes place in an envelope marked Confidential Case File. The momentum of Clue is based on the idea of components called suggestions and accusations. A suggestion first consists of a player moving into a room based on spaces according to a dice roll. Once the player is in the room, he or she can make a suggestion pertaining to the murder being committed in the specific room they are in. A suggestion is made when a player guesses what 3 cards are in the confidential case file.
The murder was committed by Miss Peacock with a knife in the kitchen.
When the suggestion has been made, the first player to the left of the one making the suggestion looks at his or her cards to see if he can prove the suggestion false, and he must show the card to the person and only the person making the suggestion if he has one of the cards that the suggestion named. Through suggestions, a player can mark off potential candidates for the murder scenario on the detective pad and therefore get closer to an accurate guess of the cards in the confidential case file. Suggestions in this case may play the role of failure and success in the game. If none of the games you named in the suggestion was shown to you, you feel success because those cards were not found. However, Clue makes failed guesses fun. If a card named in the suggestion was shown to you, you feel a failure to guess correctly, but through the failure you are one step closer to the goal as you mark off the card as a potential candidate. McGonigal defines failure in our fix as losing the entire game. However, in Clue, it directly relates failure to success to drive the game. A failure to accurately guess correctly is a step closer to victory. If reality was the same, where failure was directly related to success, failure would almost be completely eliminated, allowing us to be flexible with decisions. Moving on, an accusation can be made after no player can reveal a card summoned during a suggestion. An accusation in this sense is the player's final decision on the cards in the confidential case file.
I want to make an accusation. The murder was committed by Mr. Green with the knife in the hall.
If the player makes the accusation correctly, they win the game. If they don't, they fail. In the case of accusations, Clue starts to look more like reality, where failure and success are cut and dry. However, Clue at its heart is still a game. Failure is not forever. Because of the factor of time, failures in games are of minimal impact. Every time a new game is started, every person has an equal chance to win. In conclusion, McGonagall's fix is supremely supported through the length of a game of Clue, extended through the overall consequences of gameplay, and refuted through a varying definition of failure.